This podcast is sponsored by Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it is the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. Free free. There's also creation tools that allows you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will then distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more platforms. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. I actually use Anchor for this podcast, and it has saved me a lot of time and energy because everything is consolidated in one place. It just makes it so much easier. So if you're interested in doing the same thing, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Once again, you can download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Hey y'all, my name is Christian. I'm a millennial, and this is the Millennial Mind. Millennials get a bad rap for being lazy, non-productive members of society. They are also told that their opinions are warped and that they don't matter. This podcast is designed to express an opinion, but from a millennial's perspective. We will talk about everything from love and relationships to pop culture to pretty much everything that comes to mind. Come join me on this journey of speaking my mind, and I hope that all of you are speaking your mind as well. Okay, so I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about Goli gummies. Now, we all know that apple cider vinegar is the new health kick right now, okay? So you're supposed to take a shot or two in the morning. Some people take it 3 times a day, and you're supposed to get a lot of health benefits, such as losing weight, appetite control, etc. If you guys have ever taken apple cider vinegar shots, it is a very strong taste, okay? It's a very strong taste. It burns your throat when it goes down, just the whole nine. I used to take apple cider vinegar shots as well, and I just got sick of the taste. So I tried to find an alternative to it where I wouldn't lose the benefits, but the taste would be a little bit better. That's when I found out about Goli gummies. Now, Goli gummies, they are little gummies that has apple cider vinegar in it, and you get all of the same benefits of an apple cider vinegar shot. So the appetite control, the weight loss, etc. It's really tasty, so you don't have that burning sensation that's going down your throat every time you consume it. It's amazing. It comes in nice little packaging. They also have, you can also get an individual bottle if you want to try it, or you could do the 1 month supply, 3 month supply, or even a 5-month supply of these gummies. I take them every day and I love them. I try not to eat them as candy because they're just that good. If you want to take advantage of these gummies, I do have a special promo code for my listeners. You can go to go.goli.com/cfuller to get an additional 5% off your purchase. And there is nothing wrong with additional savings. I will take whatever I can get. So if you want to take advantage of these gummies, go to go.goli.com/cfuller to get additional savings. Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of The Millennial Mind. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey of speaking my mind, and I hope that all of you are speaking your minds as well. So, a few church announcements. 1, make sure that you follow my new podcast at dear_black_Jesus on Instagram. It will be launching very soon. I am co-hosting with one of my good friends, Justice Sorrows, so stay tuned for that. Also, I am doing a weekly Instagram live with Renee B. Renee. You guys may remember her from season 1 when I did an episode with her, and I believe you guys thoroughly enjoyed it because I received a lot of attention from that episode. So I do a weekly live with her on Instagram at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And that's on her blog page, which is RBR Blogs, and that's on Instagram. Another announcement with the blog. I know I've been slacking, guys. I know I said I was gonna have a blog post out this month, and I didn't. For sure, I'm going to have one up the first week in May. What I'm going to do is, you know what? I'm not going to even tell you guys what I'm going to do. Just tune in and make sure you read the blog post. That will be coming out the first week in May. Okay. So May 7th, that's when the first not the first blog post, but the next blog post will come out. Okay. I think that's all of my church announcements. Let's get into today's episode. So, with everything that is going on right now, I figured that I would do a part 2 of protecting your peace, because there is a lot of trauma out there, okay? Trauma with our names on it. And at this point, we have to protect our mental health, we have to protect our sanity, and we have to protect our peace. The latest thing that's been going on right now is the Derek Chauvin trial in the murder of George Floyd. And if you're not familiar with the George Floyd situation, basically it was an African American man in Minnesota who was accused of giving a counterfeit bill. The police came. There was some tussle involved, and it eventually resulted in one of the police officers, Derek Chauvin, kneeling on George Floyd's neck for more than 7 minutes. I want to say it was 9.5 minutes total. And he died. This happened almost a year ago. I believe this was May of 2020 that this happened. So they're just now having this trial, or just completed the trial on yesterday. The jury deliberated, and they essentially found him guilty on 3 counts. So he was found guilty for second-degree murder, which is basically the unintentional killing while committing a felony. He was found guilty of third-degree murder, which is perpetrating an imminently dangerous act and evincing a depraved mind. He was also found guilty of second-degree manslaughter, which is the culpable negligence creating unreasonable risk. So he was found guilty on all 3 counts. And of course, when everyone found out the verdict of the jury, everyone was relieved. There was a lot of people got emotional. Like me, I was almost in tears, because this is just, it's just been a hard road, especially for African American people. And I don't know if I mentioned it before. George Floyd, he was an African American man. If I didn't mention that before, now you know he was an African American man. Okay. And Derek Chauvin was a Caucasian man. Okay. So everybody was just overwhelmed with joy and emotion. I know George Floyd's family was especially relieved with the verdict because, of course, that was their family member and they wanted some justice to be served. Now, after my emotion had kind of died down some, I thought about it and I'm like, why are we celebrating something that is supposed to be a bare minimum for all? Justice is supposed to be a bare minimum for all of us, okay? Especially in these here United States, because that's what we speak about. We speak about justice for all, equal opportunity for all, when in fact, not everyone has the same opportunity, okay? It really bothers me, especially as an attorney, when certain police officers go out and they try to act like they're lawyer, judge, and jury over someone, taking someone's life into their own hands, committing these murders out in the street based off somebody being drug addicts or whatever, without them not having their proper time in court. And most of these individuals who are experiencing these murders, the majority of these victims are African Americans. It's not just male anymore. At first, it was African American males that were receiving the brunt of this victimhood, but now it's females too. It doesn't even matter. So these police officers are indulging in this behavior because they feel like they can, and it's annoying and it's frustrating. And then you get to court and these people are convicted and everybody is celebrating, but it's like this should be a bare minimum. George Floyd should be alive. That would actually be proper justice, is George Floyd being alive. Like him, Derek Chauvin not kneeling on his neck for 9.5 minutes over a counterfeit bill, over him being a drug addict. There are plenty of drug addicts in this world. There are plenty of people who have given counterfeit bills and are still alive to tell the story. George Floyd is not alive to tell the story. So it's really frustrating when police officers take it into their own hands to be the lawyer, judge, and jury for these individuals. Nevertheless, I've come to the conclusion too, and I've said this week, that I just can't continue to wrap my brain around these situations and try to just get involved in all of this, because it's starting to really weigh on me. It's really, and you know what? That's my cat. My cat is saying hi. All of these issues that are going on in our world is really starting to weigh on me, and I just can't. I can't deal with it. It's really weighing on my mental health. It's weighing on my sanity. It's weighing on my emotional health. And at some point in time, I just have to disconnect myself from what's going on in the world and try to focus on my life, the one life that I have to live. And I just can't spend my life trying to figure out why people do not want me to exist. Isn't that strange? There are people out there who are upset because you exist, because you're the color that you are, because you are in a certain religion, because you are of a certain ethnicity, nationality, sexual orientation. It is mind-boggling that people have the time to even focus on that, not even to focus on their own selves, but to focus on someone else who's not even affecting you. Like how are Black people affecting you? How are members of the LGBTQ plus community affecting you? How are people, how are Muslims affecting you? They're not, but people are still upset. They're still upset about people merely existing. And I've come to the conclusion that this is something that I can't control. This is something that's not going to go away. This is going to be an ongoing cycle. Even after George Floyd, there's been plenty of people afterwards who have lost their lives, primarily African Americans who have lost their lives by the hands of the police. And we're going through the same cycle over and over and over again. I just decided it's just time for me to just focus on being the best me that I can. Now, this doesn't mean that I'm not aware of what's going on. I'm not stupid. I'm going to be aware of what's going on and aware of what kind of person I am, that I'm a Black female. Okay, so there's always a stigma with that. I'm going to be aware of what they're doing to people like me. So I'm going to be aware of that. But I feel like there's a difference between being aware and then indulging into the why, because I feel like the why will never be answered. It will never be answered until Jesus comes back at this point. This is the conclusion I've come to. So I've decided to focus on peace, focus on joy, focus on happiness, focus on the positivity that's going on in the world, focus on my family, focus on just happier things in life while still being aware of what's going on, but just primarily focusing on positive things. That's all I can do. And I urge you to do the same, because if not, you're just going to continue to go down that rabbit hole of, the same cycle that we've been experiencing over and over again from the beginning of time. And since it's not going to change for the most part, it's just time for us to focus on what's important, which is life. You only get one life to live, so I just don't want to spend it on negative things. And I may get some flack for that. I may, but this is just my truth and my choice that I'm deciding to do. And I urge you all to do the same. Please don't spend your time on negative things. Focus on positive things. Focus on positive aspects of your life. Just focus on that. And I feel like the quality of life would be better for you. So, how are you guys protecting your peace with everything that's going on in the world? Let me know in the comments, or let me know via email at mindofmillennials@gmail.com. Make sure to like our Facebook page, The Millennial Mind, and our Instagram page, _Millennial Mind. Also, we are available on Pandora. So make sure that you check out our podcast on Pandora if that's the platform that you prefer for all of your podcast needs. And of course, I have a quote for you guys. And this quote is from Angel Lakita Moore Tanksley. And she is an actress. She is a podcast host. She is a comedian. And she works with Kev on Stage a lot. And this past year, I've been really, liking what she's been doing. And she's been saying some pretty cool stuff. So I've been trying to follow her with everything that she's doing. But she said this quote, and I want to read it to you guys. It says, "I don't want to spend my life trying to understand or defend against people who want to erase my existence." Yes, and that's the point that I'm at now, and I hope you all are getting to that point too. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and until next week, I will talk to you guys soon.